Okay, so before you start this, make sure you have an object bullet set up, which also has a corresponding sprite. First thing we need to set up is the hitbox for the bullet. So we're going to double click on the object and we're going to press physics, and we are going to modify the collision shape. Now hold control to zoom in on the keyboard and make sure that this collision box is the best that you can get it. If you want to be generous to your players, you can make the bullet a little bit bigger, so the computer is a bit more forgiving with the aim of some players, but that is completely up to you. Also tick your bullet as being a solid. Okay, what we need to do now is get this bullet firing when we press the left mouse button. So in the main character, whoever you've got, we're going to add an event and we are going to put it in a step. So we're going to make a new step. Hold shift to pull it over. We're going to get an if mouse down. So if I'm holding left click, this will be. You can change it to spacebar, the middle mouse button, any button, completely up to you. I'm going to do the left mouse button. Then we need to create a bullet. So we're going to get a create instance, drag it off to the right hand side, not below, it's got to be to the right hand side so it creates this green line. I'm going to create a bullet object. I'm going to leave X as 0, Y as 0. Now for the layers, we can create this on its own layer. What we're going to do is over here on the left hand side, we're going to create a new instance layer. And we're going to rename it to bullet layer. So our bullet isn't going to be on the same layer as everything else. It's going to be calculated on its own layer. However, you need to drag player above bullet. If you don't do that, you're going to run into some issues down the line. So make sure the player layer is at the top. With that, come back into the main character and change the layer here to bullet underscore layer. So we're going to make the bullet on the bullet layer itself. When we've got that, we actually need to code the bullet to do something. So we're creating the bullet here in the main character, but now we need to double click on the bullet object itself. Close out of this physics, and we need to add an event. So we're going to do a create, and we need to now tell the bullet where to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a set point direction, and we're going to point it to where the mouse X coordinate is and where the mouse Y coordinate is. Remember that GameMaker works in X and Y axis to see how big the screen is, so it's just going to point to wherever the grid reference of our mouse is. And with that, the bullet also needs a speed. I'm going to set mine to 5. You can set yours to whatever you want. So now we have a main character, that if the mouse is down, it creates a bullet object, and the bullet itself is going towards where the mouse is at whatever kind of speed. Now, in the bullet, we also need to add a collision. So when the bullet collides with the enemy, we will want to destroy the instances. So up here, I'm going to search for destroy instance, and we want to destroy the enemy. So we're destroying the enemy when we hit it with a collision, and we're also going to get another one, put it underneath. We're going to also destroy self, which means destroy the current bullet. So when it hits something, it destroys the bullet itself. Otherwise, it will carry on through the player or through the wall, and it won't make much sense. We're going to set up another collision as well with the wall, and when we collide with the wall, we're going to destroy instance self. So we're going to destroy the bullet that also hits the wall. Let's give that a test. So I've loaded into my game here. I'm going to move out the way of Swamp before he tries to get me, and I'm going to hold left mouse, and we can see that the bullets are spawning up here in the top left. So we have a bug, so we need to go and fix that. over here, in our create instance, we need to make sure we tick relative, so the bullet is spawning relative to where the main character's position currently is. So I'm going to press play, and we're going to go and check that again. Okay, back in GameMaker now, and we can hold left click, we can tap it, and we can just make sure that when the bullets hit the wall, yep, they're destroying, they're not going through, and they also killed Bowser as well. In the next video, we'll sort out this whole being able to hold down left mouse click to just create this bombardment of bullets. Okay, but for now, just make sure that you've got this basic bullet setup in, that it's destroying the enemy that it should be within your game.